all my gear is just like in a pile right now, because this isn't just, in theory I'm showing you what you could bring on the trail. I'm actually packing up my gear that I've been carrying the past couple days on the trail. So this is a real deal gear loadout. So what I'm going to start with is just my sleeping bag and its compression sack, and that goes straight at the bottom. And then on top of that, I've got my compressible foam pillow from Wise Owl Outfitters, and that goes right on top of the sleeping bag. And then I've got my hammock and my bug net that go in next. So you can see what I'm doing. When I get to camp, the first thing that I'm going to want is going to be my tarp, which I still got hanging up. So I need to take that down, and that'll go in last. That way, if it's raining, I've got something I can put up to keep me dry while I get out the rest of my gear. I've got my pillow, hammock, and bug net because I'm going to want those after I get my tarp out. So I've got my ropes that I use to hang up my hammock and my bug net. I'll just stuff those in there. I've got a dry bag with some of my extra clothes in it, extra socks, stuff like that. Then I'm going to put in my cook pot, and I'll stuff some food in here to kind of take up this empty space. Then I'll put one of my water bottles inside, and one of them goes on the outside pocket so I can get to it on the trail. Put my raincoat in here. And then basically all I'm going to do is put my tarp on top of all this stuff so I can get to it quick, and then everything else is going in this top flap. Okay, so now that I got my tarp taken down, I can put it in here. And I want that close to the top in case you need to get at it fairly quick. Stuff my raincoat in there. Got my water bottle. I got a couple of dirty bandanas I'll put in there. And then got my tent stake bag. Having a bag to put your tent stakes in is really handy because if they get muddy and wet, it keeps them from getting all your other gear dirty. I'll just kind of put those in here. And then I've got my toothbrush and my retainer case, and I'll just kind of shove those in. If it breaks, I really don't care. Alright, now everything else is going in this top flap, which I really like on this backpack because it's got a lot of room in it. And I actually prefer to have everything except for basically my sleep system and some clothes. I like all that stuff to be up here, and then my sleep system and clothes go in this main bucket, just because it kind of keeps my gear separated really good. So this is what I keep my camera stuff in. My camera charger and waterproof case and stuff like that. And that goes in this side, which has stuff like my compass, a little bit of duct tape, and extra lid for my water bottle. Then I've got my Petzl headlamp case. And this is the first trip that I've been on taking this headlamp case. And it's a rubberized case that you can put your headlamp in, that you can actually turn your headlamp on through the case, and it kind of turns it into a lantern. And I like it so far because you have to push pretty hard to get it to turn on, so your headlamp's not going to turn on inside your backpack on accident, which is cool. But it is a pretty bulky, stiff case that you may not really use at times. So it's not necessary, but it is a nice piece of gear to have. Okay, then this side is where I keep all my snack food and stuff, which is still in our bear bag, so I need to get a hold of that. Then I keep my water bottle in this holster on the side, which is really, really nice on this Gregory backpack, because when you're walking down the trail, you can actually reach your water bottle and take a drink without even having to stop walking. Then I've just got my knife, which is going to go on my belt. We've got this Spot X emergency GPS thing. It's got an SOS button, and I'll throw that in the top flap. Then I've got my hat, which I won't wear because it got soaking wet in the rain. And then my rain cover, which also got really, really wet. I'm just going to fold it up and shove it in here. Okay, now I've got my spoon, fork combination, and that goes in here. We've got our water filter pump. That goes in here. Then I've got one meal left, and normally I keep my meals in the main bucket, but because I've just got one left, I'm going to try to fit it in here. Got some snack food type stuff. And this is why I like to bring a bag of chocolate chip cookies. They got crushed and turned to dust. I'm going to have to put the meal in here because it's not going to fit. Got a bag of pistachios. Then I can zip this up. Alright, so all that's good. Now I can take this, cinch it down, and then buckle it. And one thing you always want to do when you're packing your pack is make sure all your compression straps are unbuckled before you pack. That way you can fill all the space, and then you cinch them down. And it makes for a lot easier, a lot better packing. I've got a small folding saw in here, which you don't really need to carry that, especially in the summer, because you're probably not going to be building big fires and stuff to cut wood for. But I actually forgot to not pack it, so it's here. Okay, then our top flap comes down and gets buckled. My hat on here. Alright, so there we go. I got all my stuff packed up. This is a 65-liter backpack, so it's a pretty big pack, and I've got a lot of extra room in it. This was the gear that I'm taking on a 3-day and 2-night trip on the Appalachian Trail. So this is last night was our last night, so we're just walking out today. But this is exactly how I've had it packed the whole time, pretty much. And it's worked out really, really good. And it's actually really easy to pack it good even on the trail. Sometimes if you've got too elaborate of a packing system, you can only do it when you've got a nice clean floor to lay all your stuff on and make it look good. But this is really easy to do even on the wet ground and stuff, which most of my gear is wet, so I'm not worried about it getting any more wet. It can't get any wetter than it is. But got it all packed up really good, and I think it weighs about 25 pounds with water and food, so it's not very heavy of a gear load out to carry. So there you go.